Today we're going to talk about monsters. See you soon. Not every monster's outside the house. Some are self-made. Others exist in your own family. Nevertheless, we're drawn to them like moths to a flame, even if it's to our own undoing. Let's get started. The first book that I want to review for you tonight is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This version is adapted by M. Chandler and illustrated by Linus Liu. And this classic story of Frankenstein and his monster is remade in a manga style. It's read from right to left, and this version stays close to the original version of the story as written by Mary Shelley anonymously in 1818. This familiar tale of ego, rage, revenge, loneliness, and madness tells about a creature which Dr. Frankenstein brings to life in a burst of lightning. And it repulses him, and he rejects it, calling it an abomination. The monster, who learns rapidly, craves companionship and finds no solace, and returns asking Dr. Frankenstein to create for him a mate, vowing that he will disappear and never return once the job is done. Desperately, Frankenstein agrees, only to back out of the bargain, claiming that he is unable to create life again, and in doing so, he loses everything he's ever cared for. Driven to mutual madness, the monster and his creator pursue each other in a desperate attempt to be rid of the other, and the monster seeks vengeance for his creation and loneliness, while the maker lives full of regret and rage for the loss of his family. Dive into this classic and into the depths of your own humanity, perhaps, and who knows, maybe you'll discover what makes a man and what makes a monster. Our second tale is My Favorite Thing is Monsters by Emil Ferris, published by Fangraphics books out of Seattle, Washington. This beautiful book is the protagonist, Karen Reyes' personal journal, retelling of her youth in Chicago during the height of the Civil Rights Movement and the murder of Martin Luther King Jr. Karen experiences the upheaval of this era through the veil of her favorite genre, horror. She sees herself as a monster and desires nothing more than to be bitten by a werewolf and be made an ever-living horror herself. After her upstairs neighbor and her friend, a troubled woman named Anka, is found murdered, she discovers that no one, not even the monsters, are wholly good or wholly bad. The truth is much harder to define. Her free-spirited mother takes great refuge in her progressive views while relying on old-world charms to protect them, and her brother Deezy, who struggles with his identity as a local playboy and the de facto father figure to Karen, simultaneously seek to shelter and nudge Karen forward towards the realities of the world outside her home. This story examines Karen's identity and her burgeoning sexual awareness, and shows the lives and the realities of the underprivileged neighbors that surround her. What we're left with is a deep impression of the lives lived, decisions made, and consequences rendered that go far beyond what people see from the outside appearances. The theme of this story is self-acceptance, as both Karen, her mother, and brother Deezy must look their darkest moments squarely in the face and own them, for better or for worse. Listen. If your monster is outside the house, then you're far safer than many of us after the lights go out.